In this video, we're going to talk about the Rebol header block as well as a look at comments in Rebol source code. So what you see on the screen right now is the top of the Zoe source file. This is our panning zooming HMI. This is the core file for that software. And you'll notice that right at the top there you have the Rebol word and with a block. And inside of that block you have a lot of information about this script file. So what you can put in the Rebol block is just about anything you want. In this case we put some usual suspects like the title and the file and the author, but we have some other things in there, versions, dates, usages, notes, and it's really whatever you want to put in there to keep track of. It's place for meta information, keep track of things. The Rebol block from within your script, it is available in your code, so you can pick out all the information in the Rebol block. But that's what it looks like. Now in Rebol 2, if you had a script file, you had to have a Rebol block, even if it was an empty block. You had to have Rebol and open and close block, or it would give you an error. In Rebol 3, they've relaxed that a little bit. You can actually have a script file without a Rebol block, but it's highly recommended that you do have a block for code documentation purposes. Now, speaking of documentation, you know, from the Rebol code that you've seen in past videos and what we're showing right here, you can see that Rebol is a pretty brief language. It doesn't have a lot of extraneous syntax in it. So, for example, when you call a function, you're not seeing open and close parens, and your argument list is not commented. Rebol is a very minimal language from that point of view. So if you're coming from other languages where your mind kind of is looking for all that stuff, it's just noticeably absent. And for example, if you're coming from C or JavaScript, you're probably shocked that you're not seeing semicolons at the end of your lines. Python folks, you know, they're used to that. But then you look at the code here and you're like, well, wait a second, there are semicolons there. I see a semicolon. Yeah, so semicolons in Rebol, those are comments. So right here in line 24, that's a comment on its own line. Line 25 has a comment at the end of the Rebol code right there. So semicolons are used to prefix comments in Rebol, and basically when the interpreter comes across a comment, it just ignores it to the end of the line. So what if you want to comment out a block of code? So there's a function for that called comment, which I will demonstrate. Let's start our interpreter here. So if we just say print hello, and what if we wanted to, what if this was in a script file and we wanted to comment it out? So we could just type in comment, open bracket, and then whatever is inside of that will be ignored by the interpreter. It will not be evaluated. So if you have multiple lines, you want to comment out a block. If you have a nice text editor, you could just prefix each of those lines with a semicolon and block it out that way, or comment it out that way. That would work. Or you can just put comment in there and then just wrap that block of code in a block. So that will have the same effect basically. And here is the official documentation on comment with a few examples. And yep, that's all we're going to talk about in this video. Thank you for watching.